Hi everyone, welcome to Impact Academy. So let us continue with the economy model paper part 2. Okay. So last time we have seen till 14 questions. So let us continue with the 15th question. So which plan aimed at removal of poverty and attainment of self-reliance? So, today Planning Commission has been replaced with Niti Aayog. But if you look at the trends, questions are also being asked uh, on the evolution also, like not just something that is current. Okay, even what happened in the past, like what are the various industrial policies? Okay, what are the various plans? Okay, because most of the modern economic history of India is completely based on the plans. Okay, 5-year plans and all this. So they are important. Some questions are still being asked, and everybody should have some idea at least. So we have this first 5-year plan. Okay, if you look at it, so first 5-year plan was launched during 1951 to 56, immediately after the what you say independence. Okay, it was based on the Harrod Domer model. Okay, and the main focus was on agricultural development of the country. So these are key points which you have to remember. Okay, because there wasn't any what you say industrial development at that time immediately after independence, and almost 80 to 90 plus. Okay, 90 plus of the population was dependent on agriculture. So the first plan focused more on agriculture, and this plan achieved the growth rate of 3.6%. Okay, the target was 2.1%, and the rate was 3.6%, which was achieved. Such questions will be asked, and the 5 IITs for setup. If you look at the second one, it is called as the PC Mahalanobis model. Okay, these questions are also asked. The PC Mahalanobis is a very famous, important statistician, and PC Mahalanobis model, the second 5-year plan, 1956 to 61. Okay, and see 4.5%, 4.5%, and achieved a growth rate of 4.27. So it did not reach the target. It was criticized by many experts, and as a result, India faced a payment crisis in the year 1957. So, second 5-year plan was not really a very big success, and they focused more on industrial development of the country. See, agriculture is the backbone of India. Okay, agriculture, most of the GDP and also the percentage of population, everyone is dependent on the agriculture. So, because they also wanted to develop the industrial sector, the second 5-year plan focused on industrial development also. Okay, the first one is Harrod Domer plan, second one is PC Mahalanobis model, and it focused on industrial development, and it did not meet the target growth rate, and it was criticized. There was a payment crisis also. Next, if you look at the third 5-year plan, okay, obviously they will okay. So it's called as Gadgil Yojana after the deputy chairman of the planning commission, J.R. Gadgil. Okay, so the third one is also called as Gadgil Yojana. The main target of this plan was to make the economy independent. Okay, so stress was laid on agriculture and improvement in the production of wheat. Okay, but two main things which happened was the Sino-India War, that is the China-India War of 1962 and 1965 Indo-Pakistani War. So because of the wars, obviously there will be a lot of expenditure, a lot of strain. So this was also you can say mainly because of the wars and road, it was a failure. Okay, the target was 5.6 and it achieved only 2.4. So third one was very it was a failure. And then you had what you say there was a plan holiday after this and three annual plans. Okay, because of these wars and everything. Main reason was Indo-Pakistani War and Indo-China War. Because of that, 1966 to 69 there were annual plans, and priority was given to agriculture and industry also. So, in a bid to increase the exports in the country, government declared devaluation of the rupee. So, when did the devaluation happen? It happened during this plan annual plans. Okay. Then you have the fourth 5-year plan. So, during the fourth 5-year plan, one thing you have to remember is this 14 major Indian banks were nationalized. Okay, this is very important. So the objective of this plan is stability, growth with stability and progressive achievement of self-reliance. Okay, and the plan failed and could achieve a growth rate of only 3.3 against 5.7. So anyway, you have to remember 14 Indian major banks were nationalized. Next, we have the fifth. So this fifth 5-year plan is frequently asked because of this slogan, Garibi Hatao. Okay, So this was during 1974-78. That means during the emergency and all that. Okay. So the plan focused on Garibi Hatao, employment, justice, agriculture production, and defense. Okay. So 20-point program was launched in 1975. This is one very fundamental thing. So this plan was successful. So that is why fifth plan frequently questions are asked. Okay. Garibi Hatao and minimum needs program, Indian National Highway System, and a 20-point program, and a 4.8 against 4.5. So all these things are very important. So fifth plan was very successful, but it was terminated in 1978 by Morarji Desai government. Fine, 1974 to 78. Next, rolling plan from 78 to 1990. We have the because the fifth five-year plan was terminated. Okay, that is also remember that it was terminated without completing. Okay, and they came up with a rolling plan. And when in 1980, when the Congress came back into the power, it rejected the rolling plan and a new sixth five-year plan was started back. Okay. After that, sixth five-year plan is 1980 to 1985. Here you can see economic liberalization by eradicating poverty, all these things, investment, yojana, infrastructure. Okay. Target was 5.2, achieved 5.7. So you could say sixth five-year plan also was successful. But fifth is more important. Okay. Garibi Hatao and all those other things, minimum need program, 20-point program, all those things come in fifth one. Seventh one is 85 to 90. Okay, self-sufficient economy, all these things. And the 1991, our economy was opened, right? So eighth five-year plan also becomes for the first time. Private sector got priority over public sector. Growth target was 5, but it achieved 6. So from the 5, 6, 7, we can see that the growth targets have been achieved. Eighth five-year plan also could not take place due to the volatile political situation at the center. So annual programs were found for 1991 to 92. Okay. So because we've seen we had this balance of payment crisis and all those things. Okay. The economy was liberalized. Foreign investment was FDA has been allowed. Okay. The many companies have been opened for private investment. So all those things happened. So eighth five-year plan is very important because it is the first plan after the liberalization, privatization, and after the LPG reforms. Liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So 1991, the Indian economy was liberalized. Okay. Then we have the 1992-1997 eighth five-year plan under the Dr. PV Narasimha Rao. Okay. So top priority was given for employment, education, public health, and a new economic policy of India was launched. Then we have seen a highest annual growth rate of 6.8. So till now we were seeing in 5 point something, right? So for the first time we have seen a very high growth rate because our economy has been liberalized. We have opened it to outside players also because obviously the corporates will come in, more money will come in, more profits, etc. So improvement in trade and current account deficit, high growth rate was achieved. All this we have seen. So 6.8 against 5.6. So it has done very well. Remember that eighth five-year plan is after what you say after the economy has been opened. Eighth five-year plan is there and it is quite a very big success. So ninth five-year plan, 1997 to 2002, under Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Main focus was growth with social justice and equality. And a target was 6.5 because in the previous plan we achieved 6.8. So this time target was 6.5, but it achieved only 5.6. 10th five-year plan, okay, it aimed to double the per capita income of India in the next 10 years and all those things, reduce poverty, okay, and the target was very high, 8%, but achieved 7.6%. So 11th is 2011 to 2012 under Manmohan Singh, prepared by C. Rangarajan, rapid and more inclusive growth, okay, and it achieved growth rate of 8% against a target of 9%. So it is during this period we have seen very high growth rates, okay, 8%, 9%, and all those things. So in the eighth, for the first time, we've got 6.8%. Remember that. 12th five-year plan is the last one. See, 2012 to 2017. In 2014, there was a government change, NDA government, and later on that planning commission has been removed completely. The planning commission was replaced by Niti Aayog. Growth rate target was 8%, faster, more inclusive, and sustainable growth. Okay, no need to remember all these things in depth. Okay, just broadly. First one is the Harrod Domar model, okay, and the focus on agriculture. Second one is PC Mahalanobis, focus on industry, and we've seen right third, fourth, and all those things. Fifth one is important, Garibi Hatao, and all those other things. Then we've seen 6.8 for the first time, right? Which one was that? Fifth one, fifth 5-year plan achieved 4.8 against target of 4.5. So after a long time, they have achieved the target in fifth one, and in eighth one they achieved 6.8, which was the highest by that time. And after that, everything is 8%, 9% huge growth rates. Okay. So now let us go back to the question. Which plan aimed at removal of poverty and attainment of self-reliance? So removal of poverty is basically Garibi Hatao. Okay, Garibi Hatao means first thing it has to come into your mind is fifth plan. Okay, and we have also seen the other plans also. Everything should be in your mind. So human poverty index was introduced in the HDR report. That is the Human Development Report. Okay. So let us look at human poverty index. So these indexes are also very important. Human Development Index, our rank is 134 currently, and it is given by United Nations Development Program, and Switzerland top the list. Okay, remember these things are also frequently asked. Okay, so press freedom 161. See, by reading it multiple times, you have to remember. There is no other way. Okay, global gender gap 127, given by World Economic Forum, and a logistics performance index report by World Bank. This World Press Freedom, Reporters Without Borders. Okay, this is also very prominent. 161. Hunger index is also frequently asked. 111, given by Concern Worldwide and Wealth Hunger Life. Okay, corruption perception, Transparency International. Always, usually these European companies, Denmark, Finland, New Zealand, they usually top. Okay, here also you can say in logistics, Singapore is there, Finland and Singapore. Okay, Iceland. Next, Human Development Index is 134. Okay, and the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute (SIPRI) is fourth position. India is fourth biggest military spender in the world. Remember that. So fourth biggest military spender. So we are spending 8% on defense, right? Remember that. 8% of the GDP we spend on defense. Okay. So this is multi-dimensional poverty index and UNDP, United Nations Development Program. So all these are very important. This global multi-dimensional poverty index is also very important because it is recent. Okay, and it shows multi-dimensional poverty, not just one aspect of poverty. Multi-dimensional. It takes into consideration health, education, living standards. Okay, nutrition, child mortality, years of schooling attendance, and cooking fuel, sanitation, water, electricity, all these things. Just go through this 10 indicators. So if you look at the human poverty index, so human poverty index is the indication of the poverty of a community in a country developed by the United Nations to complement the human development index. Okay, so first there was the human development index and was first reported as a part of the human development report in 1997. So first you have this what is called as the human development index. Okay, human development index also frequently questions are asked. So according to 23-24 Human Development Report titled Breaking the Gridlock, Reimagining Cooperation in a Polarized World. So this is also important because this is latest. Okay. In the latest 2023-24 HDR Human Development Report, the title is Breaking the Gridlock, Reimagining Cooperation in a Polarized World. Because today we see in the world, on one hand you have Russia, China, other you have US. Okay. So it is a polarized world. You have the Middle East. Okay, so India ranks 134 on the Global Human Development Index. So that is right, 134. See, HDI is 134. Remember this, 134. So previously it was Human Development Index. Okay, in 1992 something I will. Okay, next the Human Poverty Index came in 1997. Okay, to complement the HDI. To complement the HDI, they came up with a new index called as Human Poverty Index also. And it was first reported as part of the Human Development Report in 1997. And remember, HDI 134, our rank is 134. These are the dimensions: long and healthy life, knowledge, decent standard of living. Okay, this is health, education, and living standard, more or less the same things. This is then this report, this Human Development Report, is released by the United Nations Development Program. This is Human Development Index, and this is a similar, more recent one, that is the Multidimensional Poverty Index. Okay, so it is basically taking a multidimensional approach. So these are also very important. Globally, 1.1 billion people, that is 18% of the total population. Out of the 6.1 billion people are acutely multidimensionally poor and live in acute multidimensional poverty across 110 countries. Okay, so approximately 18% of the population is very poor, multidimensionally poor. That is poor in all these dimensions. So poverty in India, India has more than 230 million people who are poor. Okay, so India also has 18.7 population under this category. Okay, try to remember all these things. India is among 25 countries, including these countries, successfully halved their global MPI values in within 15 years. So in the last 15 years, we have halved. That means this population has reduced to half. So we are doing better in some way. Anyway, so human poverty index was introduced in the year, okay, 1992 actually, I think. Okay, just cross check, because human poverty index is something, what you say, it's a complementary to the human development index. Okay, human development index report 1997 we have seen, right? So just 1994, I think it's not correct, just cross check. So national agricultural insurance scheme replacing comprehensive crop insurance scheme was introduced in the year. Okay, so basically this national agricultural insurance scheme replaced this comprehensive crop insurance scheme. So let us look at this national agricultural insurance, agriculture sector. So agriculture, many questions will be asked. Okay, uh, agriculture is very important, whether it is India or Andhra Pradesh. Frequently questions are asked from agriculture sector. So, so first you have to look at the Agriculture Insurance Company of India. It is a central public sector undertaking under the ownership of Ministry of Finance. Okay, Ministry of Finance is a central public sector. That means it's a completely government-owned public sector, which is the Agriculture Insurance Company, and it was incorporated with the Indian Companies Act in 2002. So 2002, try to remember that. So after this Agriculture Insurance Company was established, it had taken over the this National Agriculture Insurance Scheme, which was till then implemented by General Insurance Corporation. The GIC, okay, GIC is the General Reinsurance Company of India. Okay, like LIC is the insurance company. This GIC is the General Reinsurance Company. That means it reimburses the insurance of other insurance companies, just like how NABARD does for these banking companies. General Insurance also provides insurance for the insurance companies itself. Anyway, so previously this National Agricultural Scheme was being looked after GIC. Now it was taken over by the AIC, Agriculture Insurance Company. So National Agricultural Insurance Scheme, it was introduced by the Government of India to provide insurance coverage and financial subsidy to the farmers in the event of crop losses suffered on account of natural calamities, pests and disease. So whenever there is a crop loss, this National Agriculture Insurance Scheme will provide insurance coverage. So this scheme aims to stabilize farm incomes, particularly in disaster rates. Okay. So now if you see about Prime Minister's Fasal Bima Yojana. Fasal Bima Yojana is the current trending one, right? Launched in 2016. So very recent. 2000, this is in 2002, remember. This agriculture insurance company was established in 2002. So this Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is a large scale crop subsidy insurance scheme that was aimed to safeguard farmers, and it was designed with one nation, one crop, one premium, and it replaces the this one modified National Agricultural Insurance Scheme, weather-based crop insurance scheme, and the National Agricultural Insurance Scheme. So observe this. So this is the first. Okay, National Agricultural Insurance Scheme is one of the beginning scheme. Later, it was modified to make it into a new scheme. And also, there is one thing called weather-based crop insurance scheme. So if the weather fails or anything, then there is a crop insurance. So all these crop insurance have been combined into Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Okay, understand that. So previously, a National Agriculture Insurance Scheme was there. Okay, it was later taken over by Agriculture Insurance Company. Okay, in 2002, and after that in 2016, Fasal Bima Yojana took over everything else. And also, what is this restructured weather-based crop insurance scheme? So previously, this National Agricultural Insurance Scheme and weather-based crop insurance scheme were there. This was modified into MNAIS, and this weather-based this thing is modified into restructured weather-based crop insurance scheme. And it was launched in 2016 and is being administered by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So this is Ministry of Finance. Agricultural Insurance Company is Ministry of Finance. So this one is by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. This restructured one, okay, to mitigate hardship and everything. All this is fine, but this was also launched in 2016, okay, along with Fasal Bima Yojana. So in Fasal Bima Yojana, what happened? A new scheme came and took over these old ones. National Agriculture Insurance Scheme, modified one, and the old weather-based crop. All these three have been combined into Fasal Bima Yojana. Simultaneously, this weather-based crop has been restructured into weather-based crop insurance scheme, and it is administered by a Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Okay, this is common adverse weather conditions to provide insurance to the farmers, and it uses the parameters as proxy for crop yields in compensating the cultivators for deemed crop losses. Okay, so National Agricultural Insurance Scheme replacing comprehensive crop insurance scheme was introduced in the year 1999. Okay, so this NAIS so already replaced older scheme called comprehensive crop insurance scheme, and that happened in 1999. In 2002, Agriculture Insurance Company came and that took over NIS. Later, all these things NIS has been modified. Okay, the crop weather based crop, all those things have been taken over by Fasal Bima Yojana. So currently launched in 2016, Fasal Bima Yojana is the central government's crop insurance scheme. So all this National Agriculture Insurance Scheme and all these things have been replaced by Fasal Bima Yojana. Try to remember that. So economic planning is in concurrent list. So we've already seen, right? Union list, state list, concurrent list. Okay. Schedule 7 in the polity we've seen. So economic planning is in concurrent list because we have planning for both state level and central level. So economic survey is published by. So here is the economic survey of 2022-2023. Okay. So this is the economic survey of Government of India, and it is by Ministry of Finance. Okay, Government of India, Ministry of Finance, Department of Economic Affairs, etc. So here he gave the answer as Central Statistical Organization, but it is Ministry of Finance. Okay, okay. Try to remember that this budget, okay, economic survey, and all these things are published by Ministry of Finance. Maybe in the past it was being done by CSO. I don't know. But a CSO and all these things usually it comes in that National Statistical Survey, Labor Force, Periodic Labor Force Survey, and all those things. Okay. So otherwise, economic survey, budget, and all these things are usually done by the Ministry of Finance. So Planning Commission was established in the year 1950. Okay, immediately after independence, Planning Commission was established in 1950, and it was replaced by Niti Aayog. Okay. So 12th plan 2012 to 17, which is the last one we are seeing, right? Approach paper targets annual growth rate in agriculture, forestry, and fishing at. So it's very difficult to remember individual targets and all. Sometime back we've seen, right? Where is it? 12th plan. So 12th plan growth rate target was 8%. Overall target was 8%, and faster, more inclusive, sustainable growth. Okay, and this is where somewhere in 2014-15 Niti Aayog came, and this was okay taken over. So you cannot remember at this level. Okay, individual agriculture and all those things 4%. Don't try to remember also. Such questions can be asked. Just don't try to. Okay. So Indian planning is obviously democratic in nature because they are what you say negative statements, totalitarian or totally centralized. Okay. So Indian planning is democratic in nature because if the states participate, everyone participates, and planning is done. So who was the chairman of the National Income Committee in 1949? So in 1949, the chairman of the National Income Committee, okay, was P.C. Mahalanobis. Fine. So Gadgil also we have seen, right? In third plan, Gadgil we have seen. In second plan, we have seen it is Mahalanobis plan. Second one, more focus was given on industry. And before that second plan and all, this planning commission came in 1950. In 1949 itself, we have the National Income Committee. Okay, that National Income Committee chairman was PC Mahalanobis. So when did the Central Statistical Organization release the first issue of the white paper on national income? So this national income, GDP, GNP, and all these things are very fundamentals of economy, right? So first white paper on that national income and all was introduced in 1956. Try to remember that. Okay, even if you don't remember, it's fine. So high fiscal deficit is the cause for concern for any economy. Okay, so what does it denote? Okay, so what is fiscal deficit? It's the total expenditure less to total receipts excluding borrowings. So basically, expenditure less means minus. Okay, expenditure minus receipts. So if your expenditure is more than what you are receiving, obviously there is going to be a deficit. Okay, that is called as the fiscal deficit. Okay, expenditure minus receipts excluding the borrowings. Okay, remember this, very important, very fundamental also. So fiscal policy in India is formulated by the finance ministry. Okay, SEBI is the Security and Exchanges Board of India. It looks after the stock markets, trading, and everything. Planning commission is no longer there. Reserve bank is obviously looks after the banking, regulatory of the banking industry, and fiscal policy is given by the finance ministry. Okay, so basically how much revenue we got, how much expenditure we have, and fiscal policy is basically uh, which sector gets how much money, okay, which scheme gets how much money, all that is fiscal policy. RBI on the other hand gives monetary policy. Now what is monetary policy? What is the CRR? What is the repo rate? What is the reverse repo rate? So by using those monetary policies, the RBI tries to control the amount of money, that is the liquidity in the markets. Okay, so RBI gives the monetary policy, and the fiscal policy is given by the finance ministry. So which of the following are functions of Niti Aayog? So Niti Aayog is also very very important. So Niti Aayog will be, just a minute. So Niti Aayog is very important. National Institution for Transforming India. So the Niti Aayog is the premier policy think tank. Remember this, think tank of the government of India, playing a pivotal role in shaping the strategic long-term policies and programs for the country. All this is fine. Core mission of Niti Aayog into providing critical directional and strategic input, development process. So try to observe all these things. Think tank, okay, giving ideas, policy making, and all this. So Government of India established Planning Commission in 1950 to oversee the nation's economic strategy. Next, so in 2015, Niti Aayog was formed and it replaced the Planning Commission. So similar to the Planning Commission, Niti Aayog was established by an executive resolution of the Government of India. Okay, so it is not a constitutional body nor a statutory body. That means it does not have any act. Okay, at the same time, like for example, Lokpal, Lokayukta, all these things are by an act of Parliament. So they are statutory bodies, and constitutional body is Finance Commission. Okay, Public Service Commissions, and those which are created by the Constitution itself. And so both Planning Commission and also Niti Aayog are neither constitutional body nor statutory body. So if you look at the constitution of Niti Aayog, so the chairperson is the Prime Minister, and then you have the Governing Council, CMs of all states and Lieutenant Governors of Union Territories. Okay, then you have the ex officio members. So ex officio means by default. Maximum four from the Council of Ministers who are nominated by the PM, and special invitees like experts, specialists, practitioners with domain knowledge, and the CEO. Okay, Niti Aayog chairperson is Prime Minister. CEO is appointed by the Prime Minister for fixed tenure, and if necessary, it will have a secretariat, and there are full-time members and also part-time members maximum 2 part-time members, that is rotational from relevant institutions. Okay, so you have the chief minister, I mean sorry, the prime minister, CEO, and governing council, CMs of all what is every state and every lieutenant governors, etc., and 4 members from the council of ministers. So any 4 members nominated by the PM, 2 part-time and some full-time members. And what are the functions of Niti Aayog? Policy and program framework, cooperative and competitive federalism. So it is related to policy making and federalism. That means between the union and the states. Okay, and also monitoring and evaluation, think tank, knowledge and innovation hub. So, so which of the following are functions of Niti Aayog? Okay, to formulate credible plans at the village level. Yes, even at the village level, partnerships with national and international think tanks, because it is also a think tank. It will partnership with international and national think tanks. That's also correct. To focus on technology upgradation and capacity building for implementation of program and initiatives. So this is also correct. So in order to implement various programs and all, it will focus on technology upgradation and capacity building. So all the above are correct. So Niti Aayog is very important. Remember 2015 and all those things which we have seen. So fiscal policy, I've already told you, right? Monetary policy and fiscal policy. Monetary policy is all this CRR, repo rate, SLR, MSF, and all those things. So basically deals with the liquidity in the markets. And fiscal policy is given by the government, the finance ministry. Okay, it deals with the revenue and expenditure. How much revenue we are getting, how much expenditure, and expenditure spent on which sector, which scheme, and all those things. Okay, that is fiscal policy. So the Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction came into existence in 1986. So try to remember these are all before the liberalization. Okay, before the economy was opened up. These Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction, etc. Okay, SIDB and all small industry development bank, SIDB and all those things are very important. Just go through. So this BIFR is 1986. So which one of the following committees recommended the abolition of reservation of items for the small scale sector? Okay, so all these committees are very important. Okay, so we are looking at, see some of these. Okay, KV Kamath committee, loan restructuring. Okay, committees. You have Abid Hussain committee. Okay, which is the question right now. Small scale industries and trade policy reform. Okay, so what is the Abid Hussain committee? Small scale industries and trade policy reform. That is the Abid Hussain committee. And you have KLKAR committee, private public private partnership tax structure reforms. Okay, Raja Charlaya also tax reforms. Sarkare Commission, Central State Relations, Sarkare Commission, Panche Commission. Okay, Suresh Tendulkar Committee for estimation of poverty. All these are very important. Narasimham Committee, banking reforms. Okay, these are very very important. Kusro Committee, agricultural credit, and all these things also just go through. Okay, most of these committees are very important. Bimal Jalan and capital market infrastructure institutions. Okay, Kasturi Rangan Committee on National Education Policy. This is very recent, right? Kasturi Rangan Committee on National Educational Policy and educational sector only. You have the Kothari Commission. Okay, so this NN Vora is also important. Relation between politicians and criminals. Okay, this criminal and politician nexus is the NN Vora Committee. Kumara Mangalam Birla, corporate governance. So Swaminathan Commission, problem faced by farmers 2004. Balwantrai Mehta Committee, Panchayat, Balwantrai Mehta, Ashok Mehta. Okay, all these got what is it, Tungon Committee and all this we have seen. Okay, just go through all these things. So Panchi Commission is also Central State Relations. All these are very important. So we are talking about Narasimhan Committee, right? So Narasimhan Committee is banking reforms, and Abid Hussain Committee is small scale industries and trade policy reform. So we are talking about abolition of reservation for small scale sector. So small scale means Abid Hussain Committee. Okay. So Abid Hussain is small scale and trade reforms. Narasimhan Committee is banking reforms. So The first modern industry to develop in India, I am sure everyone is aware, it is the iron and steel industry. Okay, film industry and all these things came later, engineering industry, and in general, first modern industry to develop in India is steel and iron industry. Okay, so even pre-independence, we had these Jamshedji Tata steel industry, several steel industry. We've had help from Russia, uh, Britain, Germany, etc. The small scale industry is one in which capital investment does not exceed. So this classification is also important. Okay, within industries, you have this micro, small, medium, right? That classification is also very important. Okay, so existing and revised definition of MSCM. So this was the old one. Okay, so just for reference, you can see this is the correct one. Previously, it was divided between manufacturing and services. Now it has been clubbed. Both manufacturing services, same criteria. And if you want to call it a micro industry, then the investment has to be less than 1 crore. Turnover should be 5 crore. Turnover is different, investment is different. Turnover is how much money you make. For example, you sell 100 products, okay, and for 100 rupees each. Then the turnover is what 100 for 100, right? 10,000, right? So that 10,000 is your turnover. After that, you have to deduct the price of the 100 products, the electricity bill, salaries, and everything. Then you will get your profits. Okay, profits before tax, anything. The turnover is basically how much money you are making in the industry. So either the investment is 1 crore, turnover is 5 crore. Then it is called as micro. For small, it is 10 crore, 50 crore. Investment 10, 50, 20, 100. So remember this way: micro, small, medium. Investment should be 1, less than 1, less than 10, less than 20. Turnover should be 5, 50, 100. Okay. So here he's asking about investment. So small scale industry. So he's saying 1 crore. So what he means is basically he's not talking about this small. Okay, because if he's saying 1 crore, he's basically talking about a small company. Okay, but if you correctly look at this classification, this is what you should remember. If you're talking about a micro company, then it is 1 crore. Small scale industry 10 crore. Medium is 20 crore. If it is more than 20, then it becomes a large industry. Okay, so small scale industry means it has to be how much? 10. Remember this: 1, 10, 20, 5, 50, 100. So it has to be 10. Okay, this is the right answer. For small scale industry, investment should not exceed 10 crores. Okay, and turnover should be less than 50 crores. So this is the wrong option. This is the right option. So import and export is what we see this customs. Okay, when you're talking about customs duty, that is import and export. So sale of commodities, we have GST and all. So excise is basically production of commodities, especially all commodities and alcohol and all those things usually come under excise. Okay, so excise duty is production of commodities. So the term green revolution was coined by, so either you will get confused between Norman Borlaug and MS Swaminathan, but here he is not asking who is the father of green revolution. Okay, observe that. So Dr. Norman Borlaug is the father of green revolution, and Dr. MS Swaminathan is the father of green revolution in India. But this term green revolution was coined by, and that means given by Dr. William Gaud. The spelling is wrong. Dr. William Gaud. Okay, William Gaud. He gave the term green revolution. Okay. So, which among the following statements are correct regarding the National Agricultural Policy 2000? So 2000 is long back, so you need not go through all the policies. But if you observe the exams, recent exams, they are not only asking last 2 3 years current affairs or anything. They are also asking what you say the evolution. Okay, starting from independence 1947. So anything can be asked. any policy 2000, 2002, such things are also being asked. But as a student, you may not be able to go through all that. Just have a general idea. Okay, need not remember specific numbers, details, etc. So, which among the following are correct regarding the National Agricultural Policy 2000? So it encourages growth of agriculture, very common positive statement. So yes, it gives priority to dairy development, poultry, animal husbandry, agriculture, all this fine. It accepts the necessity of agricultural income tax. But yeah, of course, it did not become a reality. Okay, agriculture income is not yet taxed, but it accepted the necessity. But because of popular sentiment, it never became a reality. Fine. So when was the first industrial policy started? So this industrial policy is also very important. So first industrial policy started in 1948. Okay. So there are several industrial policies. We'll look into that sometime. Okay. For the timing, just remember the first industrial policy started in 1948. There are many other industrial policies. We'll look into uh, sometime. So in which year IT task force was established under the leadership of Prime Minister. So in 1999, IT task force was established. Okay, so no need to remember in depth. So when did the Department of Electronics formed under Central Science Knowledge Ministry? Okay, when was the Department of Electronics formed? Again, 1970. So try to remember if you can. Okay, otherwise no problem. So information technology enabled services, that is the ITES, is used in which fields? So IT is used in banks. Okay, information technology, insurance companies, fiscal institutions, telecom sector, everyone. Okay, so these days everyone is using IT enabled services. So which sector has the maximum weightage in the industrial production index? So industrial production index is also very important. These are the 8 core industries, right? Coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery, fertilizer, steel, cement, electricity. Out of this, always refinery products. Okay, that means petrol, diesel, and all these things, right? Refined products, they have the highest weightage. Then steel, steel is 17. Electricity is also 19, very huge. Coal 10% weightage. So base year is 2011-12. This is the new series. Previously it was 2004-2005, right? Now it is base year is 2011-12 is the base year. So from there we are going to see the index. Okay, so industrial in this production. Okay, index of industrial production. It takes into account all these core industries. Okay, so basic of and if you look here, sector wise, you have the mining sector, manufacturing sector, and electricity. So if you this is the base year 2004-5, this is old one, this is the new one. So new one is base year 2011-12. So if you look at it, manufacturing has the highest weightage, 77.6, and there are almost 405 groups in it. Under this manufacturing, there are 405 items. Mining only one, okay, 14%. Okay, so electricity also only one item, electricity, but it has 7% weightage. So remember in the order. First comes manufacturing, next comes mining, next comes electricity. Very, very important. So this is the weightage given to these particular sectors. And we have seen here refinery products, electricity, okay, steel and coal. Okay, and also remember these things. Okay, very, very important. All these 8 things: coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizers, steel, cement, electricity. So all these are very, very important. So which sector has the maximum weightage in the industrial production index? We have just seen manufacturing. Manufacturing followed by mining followed by electricity. So in industrial production, you don't have agriculture, right? It is mining, electricity, manufacturing. So given under which group are people treated as workers in India? So many of you might be thinking 18 and above because by 18 you become major, right? But no, there is what is called as the adolescence also. So in non-hazardous factories, you have this Factories Act 1950, 1951 and all those things, right? So labor laws, labor acts and all those things. So if under from after 14, okay, up to 18, from this 15 to 60, I mean 15 to 18 also, adolescents can work in non-hazardous occupations. Only after 18 you can work in hazardous occupations. So if you look at it that way, 15 to 60, because only after you reach 14 years, after you complete 14, then you can work. So from that point of view, okay. So, so between 16 to 15 to 60 years. Okay. So according to the UN aid policy project, okay, what is the main action required to attain demographic dividend? So again, there will be so many projects like this. So basically, what is saying the UN aid policy project and what is the main action required to attain demographic dividend? That is better healthcare for children. So demographic dividend is obviously having more what is a uh, working population that is between the 15 and 60 years. So better healthcare for children, provide better education and health facilities to small and adolescent children. Strong actions government should lay special attention on low income people. So all are positive statements. You can say all of the above. Okay. So name the first stock exchange in India that established in 1875. So stock exchange is commonly used for secondary market, which provides a place where different types of existing securities such as shares, debentures, bonds, government securities, etc., can be bought and sold on a regular basis. Okay. So it's basically a platform for buying and selling these bonds, shares, and etc. So functions you can say provides ready and continuous market, mobilization of savings, all these things, better allocation fund, all this is fine. Now, if you look at the stock exchanges in India, okay, so first organized stock exchange in India was started in Mumbai, which is known as the Bombay Stock Exchange. So many people will think the first one is National Stock Exchange, but no. Bombay Stock Exchange in 1875 is the first one. 1875. R. Samaj and all we have seen, right? At that time only we had a Bombay Stock Exchange. Okay, so it was followed by Ahmedabad Stock Exchange in 1894, Kolkata Stock Exchange in 1908. So before getting the national, we've got these individual. Okay, first is Bombay, next Ahmedabad 94 and 1908. Then National Stock Exchange is based in Mumbai only in 1992 and commenced in 1994. So long after. Okay, so Bombay Stock Exchange is the oldest one, 1875. National Stock Exchange 1994, 1992 incorporated, 1994 operations and all this is fine. So Nifty is 50 stock index accounting all these things joint venture between NSE and CRISIL. Okay, is Nifty. So shares versus debentures, all these things you can go through. A lot of important terms. SEBI is also very important. Securities and Exchanges Board of India, as part of the economic reforms started in 1991. So in 1991 we had these economic reforms, right? Liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So um, then this SEBI, Security and Exchange Board of India, was incorporated in 1992, and it is the regulatory body for the stock markets. Okay, protects the interest of investors, development of securities market, regulating the business, register everything. So SEBI is 1992. Okay, remember that. Okay, so the first stock exchange in India that got established in 1875 is Bombay Stock Exchange. First one is Bombay. Next we have seen Ahmedabad and all those things. Then came Kolkata, okay, 1908. Then came National Stock Exchange, 1992, long after. So 1875, first one is Bombay Stock Exchange. So as a bank borrows more from the Reserve Bank of India, its net liquidity ratio. So what is liquidity ratio? Liquidity ratio are a group of several of these ratios. Okay, you don't need to go into that depth. Those are banking terms, quick ratio, all those things. So basically, they show the bank's ability to meet its short-term liabilities. Okay. So what is a bank? Bank is that which takes money from public and gives it back to the public in the form of loans. So it takes in the form of deposits. So if a customer goes and deposits 1 lakh in the bank, okay. So what the bank does, it takes the 1 lakh for 4% interest rate and it gives to another one customer at a 12%, 16%, 20% interest rate. Okay. So that is banking business. Now, so you are giving the 1 lakh for loan. But when this customer comes and says, I want my money back, you should be in a position to give it back us. So for that only RBI comes up with all this statutory liquid ratio, CRR, okay, cash reserve ratio. and these Basel norms and all those things. Okay. So basically, the idea is the bank should be able to pay back its customers whenever required. So for that only, we see the liquidity ratios. How much money you can immediately have? How much is your savings bank deposit? How much is your total loan exposure and all those things? So if a bank borrows more from the Reserve Bank of India, that means it itself is having low liquidity, right? If it has lots of money, why will it borrow? So it is borrowing more from the Reserve Bank of India means it itself is having a lot of liabilities. That means in the short term, it is having very less liquidity. So if it is borrowing more from the Reserve Bank India, that means its net liquidity ratio is dropping. Okay. So that is why you should have the theory part also. Fundamentals you should have clear understanding. So what is statutory liquid ratio? What is liquidity ratios are quick ratio and all these things. They are different from these instruments of monetary policy. That is different. Okay. So when was the Reserve Bank of India taken over by the government? So the banking we have already seen Reserve Bank of India, right? So Reserve Bank of India we have seen previously it was the imperial what you say control of currency and the imperial bank of India and all those things. It was formed in 1935, of course, as a private body during the British period, and the Reserve Bank of India was set up on the basis of recommendations of the Hilton Young Commission. This is also important. Okay, on whose recommendations? Hilton Young Commission. Okay, so in 1934 this RBI Act is 1934. So next year it came into operations 1935, and in 1949 it was nationalized. Okay. So what is saying? When was the Reserve Bank of India taken out the gun? So it was nationalized in 1949. So if in the options 1949 is there, then it's fine. Okay. So maybe 1948 because it was taken over in 1948 and nationalized in 1949. Okay. But anyway, 1934 RBI Act, 1935 commenced operations, and 1949 nationalized. Remember all those things. And Hilton Young Commission. Previously it was Imperial Bank. Okay, the function was being carried by Imperial Bank. Later, I think Imperial Bank is related to SBI also. So, when was the decimal system of currency introduced in India? Okay, so decimal system of currency was introduced in 1950. Try to remember. Of the various ways of financing government's investment expenditure, least inflationary is. Okay, that means so investment expenditure. So, suppose the government wants to give some fund to Manrega or it want to build a new road or build a new building, new school or anything. Everything is expenditure. Okay, investment expenditure. So how will the government get this money? One thing is to taxes. Okay, whatever corporate tax, income tax, all GST, everything that is taxation. Next is public borrowing. That means it will float some bonds. Okay, debentures, bonds, government securities. That is public borrowing and foreign aid. Foreign aid is when it takes loans from World Bank, IMF, and all those things. So what happens is when you're taxing, okay, when you're taxing, the people are paying money out of 100 rupees. Say you're paying 30 rupees, okay. So you're only left with 70 rupees. So if you have 100 rupees, you will spend more money. If you have only 70 rupees, you will spend less money. So that is less inflation, right? But if it is foreign aid, suppose you bring 100, suppose 1 lakh crores from foreign and then start spending it, okay, giving it to various industries, okay, loans and everything, then there is more money in the economy, which has come from outside. So obviously people are not losing anything. Okay, some money is coming from outside, people are less looking at the money. So they are having more money to spend. That means more inflation. Okay. So within these operations, taxation is the least inflationary because once you pay the taxes, you will feel like you have less money in your hand, so you will spend less. Then it will be less inflation. And taxation is one of the important way of financing the government's expenditure. So which of the following is included in the total supply of high powered money? So So this nationalization of banks is very important. We've seen so 1949 RBI was nationalized. Then 1958 SBI, okay, SBI Act 1955. Three imperial banks were merged and State Bank of India was formed. Previously, the RBI function was being carried out by the imperial bank. Okay, later on it was merged into the SBI. In 1969, 20 banks were nationalized, and 1980 second phase of nationalization. All the remaining banks were nationalized at that time. Okay. Anyway, so you look at this. Uh, okay, M1 is narrow money. That is currency with the public. That means the money which you have in your pockets, in your wallets, etc. Demand deposits with banking system. That is the current account, savings account, and all those things. Whatever money is there in the bank, and other deposits with the RBI. Whatever the banks are putting in the RBI, okay, every day so many crores. So all this money which is readily available is called narrow money. M1. Now M2 is this money plus savings deposit in post office savings banks, because post office savings are over a period of time. Okay, you put it for 10 years, 7 years. Okay, so immediately you cannot take it out. So even though it is money, it is not immediate quick money. So it is not narrow money. So M2 is this narrow money plus post office deposits. Then there is what is called as broad money. Broad money is M1 plus time deposits with the banking system. So M1 is all that money which we have in our hands and all these things plus time deposits. That is nothing but your fixed deposit. So if you have an FD for 3 years, okay. So on the outline you cannot go to the bank and immediately remove the money. So it is not part of narrow money. But if you want to break the FD, okay, you can break and still get the money, right? So broad money is all that normal money plus time deposits, that is the FDs with the bank also. So M4 is M3 plus all deposits with post office savings bank. So basically all of the above. Okay. So remember this. So M1 is all the money, M2 is M1 plus post office, M3 is without post office, the normal M1 plus bank. So M4 is everything else. M3 plus post office also. Now, without this, you have the reserve money, which is also called as the high powered money. Okay, which does not include these things. It is called high powered money, monetary base, or base money, etc. This is currency in circulation. That is all this. Okay, currency in circulation plus bankers deposit with RBI and other deposits with RBI. This is the reserve money. Okay, so basically, MO reserve money is called the high powered money. It's also called the monetary base, all these things. That is every currency that is in circulation. That means all currency printed by RBI, bankers deposit with RBI and other deposit with RBI. Okay, so whatever this money, cash reserve ratio, CRR, okay, CRR, cash daily liquid ratio, all these things which are there. Okay, all those things are called as reserve money. So MO plus demand deposits. MO plus demand deposits is this one, is equal to M1. Okay, so just go through this. Fine. So what is the question? Which of the following is included in the total supply of high powered money? So we have seen excess reserves, currency, required reserves. So basically high powered money is also called as reserved money. So high powered money is reserved money. So all that reserves with RBI, etc., and also currency in circulation. So currency in circulation, all the reserves, excess reserves. So all the above are part of the high powered money. So Narsimhan committee also we'll have to look into in depth. So we'll stop here and continue in the next class. Okay, we completed till here.